Muslim, but I was stressed or depressed or lazy or any other reason or excuse, and he didn't pray for 12 months. Now he made tawbah. He realized his grave mistake and error. What do I do? Do I have to make up those missed prayers for 12 months or not? Before we read the answer, this is a very, very common or frequently asked question. It happens all the time. People want to know, what do I have to do? I didn't pray for 5 years, for 10 years. Some people may say 20 years. They said I still was Muslim, I believed in Allah and Islam, but faith was in my heart. Whatever the case may be. Now, I return to Allah fully. Do I have to make up those missed prayers or not? And before you get into the answer of yes and no and why, most importantly, you have to make them up, and this is why. You don't have to make them up, and this is why. You have to look at what led a person to avoiding and abandoning Salah for all those years. And what's going to be the present and the future. With regards to shaitan, with regards to al-waswas, and with regards to being stuck on a mental glue trap. And one of the causes why many people relapse and keep relapsing is that they become victim of hopelessness and helplessness. It's no point in me trying now because I have to, because all of the damage that I did. So it's too late. I want to stop, I want to, but it's too much damage and I have to repay it, etc., etc., etc. طيب الجواب ذهب الجمهور من العلماء إلى أنه يقضي الصلوات التي تركها وذهب ابن تيمية وابن القيم وابن حزم وهو الذي رجحه السيد السابق ومذهب ابني الإمام الهادي إلى أنه لا يقضي بل عليه أن يكثر من النوافل. ودليل الجمهور من العلماء على القضاء والحديث فدين الله حق أن يقضى وهو يعم قضاء الصلاة والصيام والحج والزكاة وغيرها من العبادات وهو رأي الشخصي أنه يجب عليه القضاء لأن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال للسائل أرأيت لو كان على أبيك دين أكنت قاضية؟ قال نعم. قال فدين الله أحق أن يقضى والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قد قال فدين الله أحق بالقضاء. Answer says, most of the scholars of Islam, most of the fuqaha of Islam, they say is that one must make up the missed prayers, even if it was 12 months. Whatever the period of time may be, you have to make them up when you make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether that person became a non-Muslim or not, it's a different discussion. It's a different discussion. Whether they left Islam and came back, what's important is tawbah. Everyone agrees that salah is obligatory, you have to pray. And that not praying, everyone agrees, all of the scholars agree that not praying is a major sin. There's no difference about that. That's consensus, is that it is a major sin. And the only different one is it kufr akbar or not. So the person who leaves off prayer for a year has to return to Allah, regardless of the situation. I left Islam and came back, or I still was a Muslim, but I'm making tawbah. So most of the scholars, they say is that one must make up those missed prayers. That's the first view, regardless of the length of time. The second view is the view of certain scholars such as Ibn Taymiyyah, he says, Ibn Qayyim, Ibn Hazm. And it's very interesting in this fatwa that the Sheikh mentioned Sayyid Sadiq, rahimahullah ta'ala, who's the author of the book Fiqh al-Sunnah. And the book Fiqh al-Sunnah is a very popular book in Arabic. It's a very popular book in English. And I'm sure the book has been translated into other languages as well. But the fact that he mentioned him and his opinion in his tarjih is interesting. Very interesting. Most masjids, I have fiqh sunnah in them in Bayonne. And your masjid, they had fiqh sunnah on the shelf. I benefited that night when you took us there. Most masjids you'll go to, you'll find it. You find it on the shelf. And there's a reason why. Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala, he wrote his book Tamam al-Minna fi at-Ta'liq ala fiqh sunnah. He wrote a book, pointed out some criticisms, some things that Shaykh rahimahullah considered and believed were being wrong and errant in his book. And of course, many young shabab, unfortunately, mutahammisin, they took that as that it's a bad book. You can't read the book, burn the book, Sheikh Al-Bani said the Da'if Hadith and so on and so forth, but they don't understand. Sheikh Al-Bani nafsu can yudarisu kitab. He used to teach the book. So it's a solid book, alright? Al-Muhim, Al-Maqsood. What's important is, other scholars, they say, is that the prayers that are intentionally missed are not to be made up. And the other ulama, with regards to the, what's something called the Zaydi madhab, okay, the different scholars in Yemen, unorthodox, outside of the four madhabs, dying Shiites, you may call them, light Shiism, okay? They held views is that one who missed the prayer intentionally does not have to make them up. He can't make them up. He doesn't have to make them up. All right, Fatwa says, but instead, he has to make an abundance of extra prayers. Make a lot of nafila, sunnah prayers. I.e., you making up the fard prayers that you intentionally missed is what? Is of no use. Either you are a kafir or a fasik, Allah won't accept it from you. There's no point in you making it up. You're wasting your time, basically. Rather, move forward with positive energy. The tawbah, don't miss another fard, and make an abundance of nafila. That's the second view. Mufti says, the proof and the evidence, or from the proof and evidence of the majority of ulama, the first view, the first opinion, is the hadith that states, فَدَيْنُ اللَّهِ أَحَقُّ أَنْ يُقْضَى. Allah's debts deserve to be paid even more. If a human being you have to pay back, then what do you think about? Allah. The creator of the human being. What you owe Allah is even what? Is even more pressing. It's even more pressing. It's even more pertinent. Okay? It deserves immediate action, that the envelope says. Open up and pay before services are rendered. Before there's a charge. فَدَيْنُ اللَّهِ أَحَقُّ أَنْ يُقْضَى. Allah's debts are greater. Okay, he says, in this hadith here, it entails and it includes all missed things. Qada salah, siyam, hajj, zakat, and other acts of worship. That if you owe Allah something, you have to pay it back. The Mufti, he says, this is my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. It's beautiful how he mentioned Ra'y shakhsi. He didn't say what's correct, what's incorrect, what's stronger or weaker, but he said, this is what I believe. And he clearly stated, this is my opinion. I agree with those scholars. Many young guys today, they get confused if you say, this makes the most sense. Or if you say, or this is my opinion, this is what I want to say. Who are you going against the scholars? From what the scholars say, this is my opinion. If there are three views, I pick view 2. Or this makes the most sense from the 3 views mentioned by the ulama. Not the ulama have 3 views and I bring a 4th view. Understand? That's his opinion. There's nothing new under the sun. Even the new modern day issues are going to go back to the old principles. So he said, this is my personal opinion, is that the prayers have to be made up. And the prayers must be made up, no matter how long they were. He says, because the Prophet ﷺ said to the questioner who asked about his father who owed something and he passed away without repaying or paying it off, he said, with regards to the Hajj, with regards to an act of ibadah that his father missed. If your father had debts, if he took out loans, if he owed someone some property, according to Qadiyo, would you pay it on his behalf? He said yes. And that's when he said, for Dain Allahi, then Allah's, what you owe Allah is even what? It deserves even more. It's the end of this fatwa. Let's give him my Sheikh Muhammad Ismail al-Rani al-Ta'ala, Mufti of Yemen. Some years ago, he passed away. The moral of the story is, you shouldn't allow prayers to be missed, period. End of discussion. However, if you do miss a prayer, you forget, you make it up. But what happens if you intentionally don't pray? Because you're lazy and lethargic. Nothing, and I quote, nothing should be that heavy in which it nudges and budges and bumps prayer out the way. Nothing from your life. Not a relationship, not a job, not a sin, not an addiction. And if something has that power in which it prevents you from prayer, know that that thing is dangerous and it's too strong. It's too dangerous. For argument's sake, I got a problem smoking, drinking, I have a girlfriend, I know it's haram, I play sports, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I still pray. But I'm too shy to pray, I'm too embarrassed to pray, I'm too far from Allah to pray. That thing is dangerous, and you have to get it out of your life, period. Because one prayer leads to two, and the next thing you know, you're abandoning prayer, and that's extremely dangerous. However, if a person does fall into that, and they want to return to Allah, what do you do? What do you do? So, first and foremost, there's a few things to focus on this fatwa. The Shaykh Rahimahullah, he did not mention the proof and evidence of the ulama who said that you don't have to make up the prayers. Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim, Ibn Hazm, Ibn Imam al-Hadi, Sayyid Sabiq. Why did لماذا لم يذكر أدلتهم؟ يعني طبعا الفتوى على سورة الإيجاز والاختصار is a brief fatwa, okay? But the moral story is he mentioned the proof for one view. Those other scholars, they have proof and evidence too. And from their proof and evidence, they're going to say, first and foremost, there's a big possibility that the person what? He left Islam. And if a person left Islam, then what? He left Islam. He started fresh when he comes back. With exceptions to the good deeds. As Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَمَنْ يَرْتَدْ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ أعمالهم. طيب يعني محل الشاهد من الآية قيد الموت ارتد ثم رجع إلى الإسلام قبل الموت فإن الحسنات التي عملها حال الإسلام تبقى في الميزان. هذا محل الشاهد. Alright, Allah says those who die after apostasy, then their deeds are flushed and washed and wiped away. So therefore, the person will keep his good deeds, the bad deeds, the sins, you come back to Islam, you start over. Secondly, they say, those who delay the prayer, من أخر الصلاة عن وقتها بدون عذر شرعي فلن تقبل منه ولو عادها 100 مرة. Because he intentionally neglected the rules. إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا مفروضا في الأوقات. So they say, he left off the prayer intentionally, he didn't have an excuse. Nah, it's done, it's over. Secondly, you start fresh. You have to make a prayer for 12 months. هذا قد يكون سببا يعوق ويحول بينه وبين التوبة وبين العودة. لأنه كيف أقضي سنة كاملة في ثقل. It's going to be extremely heavy. And that, in most cases, will what? Will hinder the person from Tawbah. Alright, so obviously starting fresh, sometimes you just got to start fresh. This is why those ulama held that view. This is why they what? Why they held that view. If you have the ability to make the prayer, no doubt. But do you have the ability to make a 12 months of prayer with the 5 daily prayers, with the witr, with the rak'ah, fajr, etc., that may become what? And that could be a reason that the shaitan uses to يبعدك عن التوبة. It's done. There's no hope for you. You might as well just continue being a kafir on the other hand. So these are some of the reasons. And of course, that view that you don't have to make up those missed prayers, they clearly say that يكثر من التصدق, يكثر من التوبة والاستغفار, يكثر من عمل الخير. You have to keep doing a lot of good things regardless of the reason. And then الحسنات يذهب السيئات ذلك ذكرى للذاكرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
If somebody has to make up their salah, how can they do it? How will they be able to do it?
12 months?
For the salah that they have missed in the
Whenever time they have,
anytime.
Yes, obviously the issue of waqt al-nahi, can I pray after Fajr? If it's qada, it's qada.
Okay.
So many ulama say حتى في وقت النهي حتى في أوقات النهي لأنه قضاء.
Anytime during
وليس إنشاء السنة أو يعني نافلة. والله أعلم.
So according to those ulama, so
which ones?
The ones who say that he has to make up the prayer.
Red or blue?
He has to make up. They have to make up the prayers. Right?
Okay.
So like the brother asked the same question. So let's say it's been 5 years. So would they expect a person to pray Fajr 5 times? In the morning?
However he can make it up.
However you can.
Yes. يعني يقضي كيف ما يتيسر. المهم يقضي.
With your intentions of making it up. Absolutely. Okay. Alhamdulillah.